wanted to basically share the information about the current programs which we are running at Institute of Apparel Management. But basically, to begin this entire discussions or entire interaction and sharing my information with all of you, I would like to give a little bit of perspective of the apparel industry, how it has moved across India. If you look at the development of apparel industry over last 30 years, 80s and 90s were mostly dedicated to the exports, and then in 90s there was a time when both domestic market, which was launched and which was started with Indian brands and high fashion industry, that came in the sea. And by 2000, perhaps there was a stable high fashion domestic and export market. In new millennium, what happened is that there was a major focus, major thrust shifted towards the arena of retail. So there where what happened is a lot of retail players, domestic brands, domestic manufacturers, they started coming into the domestic market, and the retail industry grew at the rate of almost 10 to 15% initially, which moved on to almost 20 to 22%, and now it is almost stabilized at 18% per annum, which is expected to grow on a similar manner till 2020. So that is how things have moved. There were fashion institutions which started, which were primarily training fashion professionals. There are a lot of fashion institutions mushroomed simultaneously, and now if you look at the majority of demand is coming from the domestic sector as well as also exporters, because exporters, if they are now trying and expanding to new markets. If you look at the APC itself is seeking non-conventional markets, trying to penetrate into different markets and just trying to understand that how besides US and Eurozone they can expand to the newer markets like Africa, Japan, South America. They're emerging as very, very big markets. So what has started happening is, because of this global change post WTO and MFA, the entire dynamics of this industry has moved to a different direction. It has become an open world, it has become a free trade and become very, very, very competitive. So when we moved or when we transit from the times when we were studying, I mean of course at NIFT, and the times where we are now, when the technology has become so advanced. Of course, one demonstration of that technology we are trying to explore by having an interaction with you today. But in 10 years there is a dramatic shift, there is a dramatic change in the world. Now if you look at the leaders, there are leaders like Google, Facebook, that has revolutionized and in fact changed the entire thought perspectives of the people and also the learning pattern. Previously, people were not using these technologies. I remember, when we were making even portfolios, we had to struggle with printouts and you had to do so much of sourcing and everything. Today, now being here, you can connect to the whole world at no cost. So the technologies have changed, learnings have changed. Most of the people today are continuously connected to the new technologies. And if you look at, for example, sometimes back people used to say that if you enter into office, if you don't open up your laptops, if you don't access your mobile phone, imagine how your life is going to be. It is very, very difficult now to imagine that kind of life. So it's very, very important that within this changing, climate, changing world dramatically, what are the kind of things that needed to be added to encourage new learning or to train new generation or next generation professionals. So what happened in 2009? Basically, we started with the programs. We started with the programs, namely international pathways. IMO started by APC in 2007 with an aim to train middle to junior to middle level managerial cadre because technologies were provided by HBC. If you look at shop floor to all those things, designers, of course, a lot of designers and other kind of professionals were in plenty supported by NIFT, but there was still a vacuum for management professionals for this industry. So IAM started its initiative, and they started developing a range of programs in merchandising, in design management, in retail management, in fashion management, in brand management. So there was a range of programs, buying and merchandising, supply chain management. The range of programs were thought through, and in 2009, first set of programs which were introduced were called international programs.